Tan, tan. Hum...
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you.
Tá, vou voltar a explorar. Cheguei no serviço do... Aí sim. Eu vou, por enquanto, vou explorar um pouco. Pra pegar umas gemas, que hoje eu fiz besteira. Dei 20 tiros, peguei 2 colas e um espadão. Aí eu tenho que recuperar as gemas pra nave. Mas eu também nem tô no garantido, tô no 50-50, então... Qual é o espadão? Cegadeira da chuva, nem dá pra me usar. Tá, tá. Não consegui aproveitar nada. Peguei C5 da Coley e não consegui aproveitar nada. Então o que que eu ia fazer? Boa sorte, obrigado. Deixando praia entre as cachoeiras. É, falando nisso, eu peguei umas plantinhas da nave, mas nem lembro quantas eu peguei. É, próxima vez que eu for pegar, tá... Já termino de pegar as plantinhas da nave. Aqui, entre as cachoeiras. Acho que cachoeira diz pra cá, né? A da nave? As plantinhas da nave? Porra! Você faz a rota completa toda vez que pode, né? Caraca! Uma pessoa mais preparada pra nave. Deixa eu olhar ali de novo. Ah, lembra os presentes de agradecimento que ele deixou na praia entre as cachoeiras. Os presentes na praia entre as cachoeiras, então deve ser pra cá, eu acho. Bem ali, ó. Tô vendo o desafio ali. Nossa, a Furina é uma mão na roda pra explorar Fontaine, hein? Ó, aqui, tome.
I hope the others find some.
Nossa, mas sempre vai ficar me dando mais mapa? Mas o que eu quero? Sempre vai ficar me dando mais mapa? Todos esses? Então vai ter... Não... Pegar neve, eu só amo quando eu tartaruga. Pra tu ter noção, já teve um dia... Eu tinha mandado pro seguinte... Te entendo, quando eu tô muito no hype pra jogar Genshin eu sou assim também. Mas eu não consigo ficar assim de tipo matar tudo. Não, eu vou mostrar aqui. Porque eu também adoro coletar o item dos bichos.
Things are going a little too smoothly today.
Ó, matar os bichos que já mostra. Ó. É verdade. Eu sou o Cupim Júnior só. Não pego tanto. Tipo, pra você ver aqui, ó. Não tem. Tipo, esses daqui são os que, porra, mata desde 1.0, né? Então. Se não tiver muito, é triste. Mas, ó. Tinha uma época que eu tava matando Samurai, os Tatu de Gel, Espectro, os bichos de Dark Souls. Esses bichos chato aí. Os Creature diferentes, mas os bichos de Fontaine eu adorei matar. Todos. Principalmente os. Qual é o nome disso? Primo Fissurador. Adorei matar essas coisas. Samatur? Qual que é o Samatur mesmo? É o grandão? Ah não, é o maguinho. Mitatur que eu... Ah, mas esse daí eu genuinamente... A primeira vez que eu fui matar mesmo no livro, com o livrozinho foi essa semana. Hoje, na verdade. Por causa do evento. O que eu ia ver mesmo? Ah, é verdade. O mapa aqui. É ali. Eu acho que seguindo por aqui já dá pra ir. Deve ser pra lá. É, pra lá mesmo. A pé mesmo. Eu posso pegar aqui e voltar a Exhaustion. Normalmente é. Esses daí, tipo, se eu não tivesse muito seria bem triste porque eu jogo esse jogo desde 1.0. Não, eu parei bastante de jogar nesse meio caminho, nesse meio, principalmente em Sumero. Nossa, Sumero. Eu joguei muito pouco Sumero. Devo ter jogado umas 4 atualizações de Sumero só. Mas a minha Sumero tá 100%. Que eu adoro ter gemas. Vamos ver. Eu acho que pra cá... Ah, vai equipar a bússola de Fontaine já. Que eu acho que um dos piores que eu tive que farmar foi os samurais, os protetor de mão. Nossa, eu sofri nessa bosta. Que eu tive que farmar pra muito boneco. Ó, raramente. Aham, pois é. Só, mas pelo menos suponho que seja um pedaço grande, né? Vamos ver aqui. Olha, provavelmente vai ser um pedaço bem grande de mapa que vai vir. É, vai ser a divisa entre Liu e Fontaine. Mas eu acho que vai ficar. Talvez fique um buraco aqui no meio, né? Mó pai isso. Na verdade, com certeza vai ficar um buraco ali no meio. Os caras não vão lançar uma região tão grande assim. Nem li o que é pra eu fazer aqui. Está no olho do peixe. Nossa, verdade. É, o PS4 tá sofrendo também. E o jogo tá chegando a quase 100 GB já. No olho do peixe? O que é aquilo ali em cima? Acho que deve ter a ver. Não entendi pra onde que eu tenho que ir. É bem pensado. Vamos ver que o olho do peixe seja formado. É, mas eu não entendi pra onde eu tenho que ir. Ai que agonia, deixou um item ali embaixo. Ah, eu não sei. Ah, eu vou voltar lá. Ah, tão legal ficar andando pelo mapa só com esses bichinhos ativos. Olho do peixe. Vamos analisar as ilhas aqui. Se estou para escolher uma turbina de vão. Ou é um ambiente de Fontaine? Eu espero que seja um ambiente de Fontaine. Que ele não tá tão turbino ultimamente. Tá, eu realmente não sei. Ah, será que é ali na outra montanha? É, então não tô ligado onde que é. Pode ser ali naquela outra também. É, eu tô achando que não também. Porra. Bora ler. Bem, coisa que o jogador de Genshin não gosta de fazer, né? Tá, vamos ler tudo. Parque de Fontaine. E passaram toda a sua vida na estrada. Eles tiveram uma filha Penny, uma garota adorável que amava peixes e nadar. Eles a deixaram com seu melhor amigo, Roger, para a poupar do incômodo da viagem e da falta de descanso. Apesar da falta de uma residência fixa, a vida de Parker é cheia de alegria e surpresas. E ela espera que sua filha compartilhe da mesma alegria. Parker também deseja que o leitor dessa carta tenha a mesma alegria, por que não ir encontrar as surpresas que ela escondeu para você? Dica: a surpresa está na barriga do peixe. A chave para encontrar a surpresa está no olho do peixe. Tá, tem um desenho de um peixe ali. Talvez tenha alguma coisa a ver. Tô achando que tem uma coisa embaixo d'água. Uma lontra. Aquela pedra lembra um formato de um peixe, né? Pedra do mar. É verdade. Deixa eu rever aqui. Achar. Então suponho que o olho do peixe estaria por aqui. Mas eu já tinha vindo aqui. Será que não tem alguma outra coisa que tem um formato de peixe? No olho. Mas eu acho que provavelmente é aquilo que eu passei. Mas eu não sei onde que leva. Talvez eu tenha que ver um vídeo do Japeta futuramente se eu não descobrir isso aqui. O que é isso? Tem o que aonde? O que é? O que é? Fale. Fale. Fica parado. Ok. Não! Volta ali na pedra. Ah, tá. Torre de madeira, vamos lá. Vamos lá. Tô aqui na torre de madeira. Ah, meu Deus! Meu Deus, verdade! Olha aqui! Ah, mas por que eu não consigo interagir? Ah! Nossa! Nossa, ainda. Você é um gênio!
Extra slice of joy.
Meu Deus, eu nunca ia ver isso. Tá. Burrow e sua esposa juravam viajar por Fontaine, passando por todos. Ué. Pois é. Burrow também. Ué, é a mesma coisa? Dica: surpresa está entre as garras. Resolva chorar entre as garras para pegar a surpresa. Controle ruim. Como é que era? Putz, acho que era essa. Deixa eu voltar aqui. É essa mesmo. Entre as garras. Tá, eu vou lá na montanha. Ah, tá, agora eu entendi. Lá no topo da montanha era pra ver, ter a visão do peixe. Não era que levava pra chave. Não... Ah, entendi. Olha, mesma coisa. Ó, Celeste. Sim. Não! Eu quero uma posição pra mim repor estamina. Acho que eu só piorei, vou ter que comer a comida. Aqui. Não. Perfeito. Ó, Academia do Sumero. Pô, dá pra ver muita coisa daqui. Ó, espinha do dragão. Ah, fez daqui entregou na cara. Nossa, dá até o caminho. Pois é. No PS5 dá pra você ver muito. Não tem essa neblinona. Quer dizer, tipo, ainda tem nuvens e tal, mas tipo, é muito mais bonito. É. Ó lá. Ó, o baú já tá aí. Nossa, que bosta. Sem graça esse, hein?
A pleasant surprise. Truly an.
Tá. Enquanto o Alton vivia, não confiava que queria proteger, não havia mensagem no último dia em que ela morreu. Ela chegou a dançar como uma marionete no meio do mar, de um mar de mentiras. É, nossa, super complicado. Quando ela acordou, a coisa mais especial em sua vida. Sua filha havia sido levada. Alton queria nada mais do que um mundo perfeito para sua filha. Viver e dedicou sua maior parte assim. Dedicou tudo para realizar isso. Se você entende a dor que uma mãe pode sentir, você que está lendo essa nota. E se você está disposto a realizar o desejo de uma mãe para proteger sua filha, vá para perigo no seu vaga para que ela deixe para você. Mais confiança.
Slice of joy.
Aqui. Não, aquele puzzle foi tão complicado que eu simplesmente dei muita sorte só de ter resolvido tão fácil assim. Isso é uma coisa. Fruta saber pergunta direito. O quê? Ah, tá bom então, né? Tá bom. Ah, era um coisa do tesouro também.
Truly an extra slice of joy.
Um joia então. Viu só como eu sou super inteligente? Tome. Ah, não, tá muito suspeito. Porra, tem uma árvore em Fontaine que tem uma dessas frutas em cima dela. Se você pegar, vai sair um baú. Agora todas essas frutinhas eu tô pegando. Acho que dá. É. Não, tipo, eu só tive que bater na árvore e vi um baú precioso. Podia ser toda a árvore assim. Tá, eu já vim aqui. Mas eu tenho que fazer o que aqui? É ali? Ah, sei lá. Mensagem. Ah, viola vai pensar. Parede. Comecem pela cadeira, o fogo, finalmente a parede. Hum? Ah, tá. Vai que pergunta, digo, um local mofado, é? Nossa, super legal. Tá, lembre-se da ordem. Comece pela cadeira na água. Ah, tá. Comece pela cadeira na. Comece pela cadeira na água, perto do fogo e finalmente na parede. Tá. Ah, é que eu tô fazendo a ordem errada. Será que esse daí é? Não, é aquele ali é pra abrir outro. Ah, tem um aqui. É, eu abri. Ah lá. Tome! Nossa. É um baú precioso.
Go on. You have my approval.
Ah, esse daqui eu já fiz. Já fiz. Já fiz. Fiz. E fiz. Ah, fiz todos. Isso. Não sei. Ah, esse daqui eu sei. Eu peguei lá do boss. Mas eu não sei onde que usa. É, também. Você sabe onde que usa isso daqui? Isso daqui é 4.1. Eu não sei onde que usa. Ô, louco. Então só me diga se... eu tenho todos. Também se souber, isso daí é tu abrir um bolo no mapa. É, tô ligado. Esses itens da 4.1. Só tive preguiça mesmo de fazer. Ah não, troquei sem querer. Mapa. Lá pra cima você diz o mapa. Ó. Acho que são 7. Ah, então acho que uma. É. Que bom que eu peguei tudo. Se for pra chutar um lugar, eu chuto aqui, que se eu não me engano eu não explorei aqui. Que é um lugar fechado. Eu não lembro. Perdi em cima do boss. Esse! Ou esse. Ah, então deve ser esse. Suponho que seja esse. Não, o cavalo elétrico. Tá, agora eu acho que eu acho que tá com a live atrasada, não sei. Tá, o caminho aqui na direita, então. Aquela mensagem que demorou 8 segundos. Eu acho que tenta colocar a live em 2x rapidinho pra ver se não é que tá atrasado. Porque a live parece que eu tô bem atrasada mesmo. Aqui. Porra, beleza. Porra, mas que elevador demorado, hein? Chegou. Deixa eu ver. Porra, será que eu nunca vim aqui? Acho que eu devo ter vindo aqui já. Não é possível. Ah, eu já vim aqui, eu fiz uma missão aqui. Será que esse cara tem alguma coisa a ver? Sinceramente, eu não tô interessado. Ah, colete as 4. Eu nem sei, eu devia ter lido. É. Réplicas de âncoras. Ah tá, réplica de âncora é. Isso. Ah, vamos ver aqui na sala do lado. acho que é pra cá. Aqui, ó. Sai fora. Cadê? Aqui. Dormindo no ponto, nem tô vendo as coisas. Pô, ainda bem que eu tô voltando a explorar a fontaine, não. As coisas que eu tô perdendo, eu tinha perdido. Espero que isso vale a pena e eu ganho 55 na nave. Ó. Senão eu vou ficar bem magoado. Pá. Oh, nossa. Obrigado. Porque eu tô muito animado pra essa boneca. Eu gostei muito dela na missão do Arconte. Eu tenho o C5 do Gorou também. Tipo, com certeza o Gorou vai vir no banner dela. Então, aí é só eu pegar um Gorouzinho e ter o C6 do Gorou. Aí todo mundo fica feliz. Aí eu posso buildar minha Noelle tranquilo. Tem Gardemek aqui. Desafio concluído. Tá, acho que eu tenho que voltar lá agora, né? Se isso daí não me der um baú luxuoso. Pô. Não tem um baú. Eu não lembro disso. Isso me leva pra algum lugar importante, será? Dá pra mim escalar, acredito eu. Dá. Só vou ver aqui rapidinho antes, que eu não lembro desse lugar. Não lembro de ter vindo aqui, só pra... acho que eu já vim, sim. Só pra ter certeza. Ah, já vim sim, lembrei. As estrelinhas do Neuvillé. Era pra mim ter pego. Passei reto sem querer. É, só a Furina mesmo pra me buildar já. Sério, eu tinha um ódio dessa boneca. Que a maior parte dos bonecos do mochileiro eu não gosto. Mas até que depois de usar a Jean com a Furina, até que eu realmente me diverti. É uma boneca bem forte mesmo. Não, não era pra... Tá... Bom, luxuoso, né? Ah, o valor, mais que um valor da maioria dos bolos luxuosos. Tá, mas cadê o baú? Ah, coisinho do Wesley. É, um perfeito time de vôlei. A Kiki, que eu não gosto da Kiki, como bola de vôlei. Dá pra fazer isso ainda? Nossa, Nossa, onde que tá esse baú? Uma forma celular de uma mesa mecânica. Uma mesa mecânica. Tá, calma. Do lado dessa sala aí. Calma, é um baú bloqueado em uma cela do lado de uma mesa mecânica. No fundo. No fundo se diz lá embaixo? Aí. Uma coisa. Não, deve ter nada a ver. Ah, tá, entendi. Formar artefato, né? Ó, tome. Ah! Nossa! Porra, tá na minha cara! Porra! Como que você não grita comigo? Olha isso!
Splendid! More interesting trinkets for me.
Na minha cara! Os mais famosos do mercado legal. É, eu usei, mas eu não tava vendo. Não, mas... Sabe, você falou bloqueado, eu imaginei que era... Sabe quando o baú tá bloqueado e você tem que matar o inimigo? Ele tem uma coisinha, coisinha vermelha em volta? Eu penso que é isso. Não que eu tava numa jaula. Ó, 100% de fonte... Ah, não. É que eu não peguei 100% ainda. Tá, acho que... O que tem pra mim fazer agora? É, eu vou fazer a quest da Furina, então. Começar a quest dela. A pequena Oceanide. Sim, esse baú eu peguei já. Todas as cidades de Fontaine, eu acredito que eu tenha pego já. Uma carta? Peguei uma carta.
Hey, Catherine, it's us. Got a new commission?
Nossa, acho que eu tenho que abaixar o volume da voz.
More tech, perhaps? I'm just being enthusiastic. We're all friends now, she gets it.
It's always a pleasure to see our two most avid adventurers again. Looking for the next challenge, I see.
Ah,
Actually, we do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open. Having read the details, however, I don't believe you'd consider it to be lucrative.
porra, pior que...
Don't worry
Cara,
about that.
esses tempos eu tava
Just finished.
explorando a Mondstadt de Lille e eu achei baú lá. É muito
To
bizarro.
put it simply, the requester is looking for a temporary replacement actress for their musical. The original cast member ran into some issues and is currently unable to perform the role. But the troupe has also been experiencing some financial difficulties, so unfortunately they cannot afford to pay the replacement actress.
That does sound like a tricky situation. So basically they're looking for a volunteer?
That's right. Our adventurers reached out to many actresses, but none of them were willing to take the job. There are only a few days left until the performance. If they can't find someone in time, they'll probably have to postpone the show. And delays tend to
Ah,
create
esses
all
baús eu
sorts
nunca
of new
encontrei.
problems.
Got it. Oh, this one's a doozy. Traveler.
Nossa, eu nunca encontrei esses baús que respawnam que não dão gema.
Even if we took the commission, neither of us have any experience starring in musicals.
If you're interested in helping, why not start by having a chat with the requester? He's right over there. Maybe you can't fill the
Porque,
role
tipo, esses
yourself,
baús que eu encontrei, eles
but
te
you
davam
might
gema.
be able to help him figure
Tipo,
out another
duas.
solution.
Era um baú sofisticado e deu
Maybe
duas
there's
gemas.
something he hasn't thought of.
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he just ate a sour lemon.
Não, eu quero abaixar o volume da voz. Nossa, não sabia que tinha isso que a cada 2 ou 3 versões respawnava baú.
Wait, I know you two. Are you really willing to act in my musical?
Nossa, eu realmente nunca encontrei baú que respawnam.
Sounds like we're pretty famous in Fontaine already. But to answer your question, neither of us have any experience in musicals. But we heard that you're in a bit of a bind, so we figured we could at least try to help you think of a solution.
I see. It's okay. I knew that asking for a volunteer was a long shot. If we can't find someone to step in, we'll have no choice but to cancel the show. It would be such a shame. That's the thing. We're not some high-profile theater troupe, just a group of amateur enthusiasts.
Só um pouquinho respawnam mesmo. Oh,
All our sets
beleza.
and props
Mas
are
de tarde
very
não
crude.
tenho muito
We're
costume de
grateful enough
jogar.
just to get an audience, never mind ticket fees.
Mas meu ID tá na tela, então se quiser me adicionar já.
If we had a
Marcar
way to make
pra
this profitable,
adicionar.
things might have turned out differently. But now, it looks inevitable that we'll disband.
Disband? You're splitting up the troupe?
Oh, I guess the lady at the Adventurers Guild didn't tell you? Yeah, this is supposed to be our final show together as a troupe. One last show. And after that, we go our separate ways. So we were really hoping to end on a high note. Nobody wants things to just fizzle out. Not after all the time and effort we've invested into it. Yeah, the leading lady, in fact. She's been dealing with a chronic illness ever since childhood. And unfortunately, it flared up again recently. It really drains all her energy, so she's in no state to perform.
Qual o seu favorito? Ah, o meu favorito é o 4. Meu favorito é o 4, o original.
The show
Mas o
just won't be
remake
the
em
same
si é
without
um jogo
her.
melhor.
But for everyone else's sake, I still hope we can find a way to hold the performance on schedule.
É, mas eu fazia speedrun do Resident Evil do R4 Remake. Porque hoje em dia os caras corrigiam os glitch. E mesmo com glitch já era uma speedrun difícil. Então eu preferi nem fazer, porque eu só me... nossa, era estressante fazer aquilo lá. Muito bom. Eu comprei no PS4 pra rejogar. Eu preciso zerando bastante vezes já. Porque é muito bom.
What if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how much more are you getting?
Please, there's no need to go that far. I wouldn't feel right asking such a huge favor. And I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the more, that's not exactly rescuing the show.
Musicão estourando.
We should find someone who will put on the best performance in costume.
Assim. Eu joguei só um dos jogos do GTA Trilogy. Que tava na Plus e eu usava a Plus de um amigo meu. Eu joguei o GTA Vice City do Trilogy, ó. O jogo ficou feinho, que eu não gostei desse gráfico que eles colocaram no jogo. Mas em si, o jogo hoje em dia não tá tão bugado. Não tive problema nenhum com bug. Eu fiz do início ao fim. Não teve nenhum problema. Só o jogo que é feinho mesmo. Os outros do Trilogy eu não joguei, infelizmente.
She's really good at performing, and she was once super popular with the crowd. Performing in a musical should be a piece of cake for her.
Who are you thinking of? Sounds like someone famous. Her? You're... That was a joke, right?
Nope. Paimon doesn't actually know if she's performed on stage before, but Paimon's pretty confident that she'd be really good at it.
You're not wrong there. She has actually performed in a number of big-name shows before. They were one of the reasons she was so popular.
Esse é louco, planeta tem. Nossa, que é muito feio, é muito estranho. Os bonecos ficou tudo esquisito, feio.
But even if she's no longer the Hydro Archon, it's not like she's suddenly a commoner. She's still an idol to many people in Fontaine, including myself. I just think Lady Furina might feel a bit out of place in an amateur troupe like ours. Well, yes. Fair enough. I mean, if she was actually willing to, then of course I'd be honored to have Lady Furina star in. I'm sure everyone in our troupe has probably dreamt of performing on stage with her one day. Of course, it all depends on whether she's interested.
No point stressing about that. We'll only know if we ask. And besides, things are different now. There's no reason for her to be all high and mighty anymore.
Thank you for your help. I guess I'll just stay here.
Wait, where does Furina actually live nowadays? She used to live in luxury at the Palais from...
As it happens, I have her current
Oh,
address
louco.
here. I can provide it to you.
Woo! When did you get here?
Tem também. Pastro. Devia estar mais bonito mesmo, Tibia.
I came over when things were starting to sound more promising. I thought I should be at the ready in case my assistance is needed. It is my duty to support commissioners in any way I...
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, now that you've got the address, we'll go find her.
Nossa, onde que ela tá morando, será? A pequena Oceanide. Mas deixa eu baixar um pouco o volume da música e da voz.
Paimon, coming in. Paimon!
Nossa, o Furina tá morando aqui pra baixo.
Did Catherine really give us the right address? Not that there's anything wrong with this place, it's just,
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Ai. Nossa, que tristeza na voz dela.
Okay, when did Papa and there become all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags. I used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food. But now I'm finding that simple, traditional, not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week, macaroni and bolognese the next.
É verdade. Então basicamente ela ficou pobre.
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity! It's not like I have a very eventful life these
Chega
days.
como ninguém se pode ser uma noite lutando.
So I don't see how it's unusual
É,
that
tipo,
my meals are a little
mas mesmo
simpler
assim.
now, too.
Mas mesmo assim, as pessoas, alguns bonecos até comentam assim, mas tá nem aí também. Tipo, ela pode ser um ser único só. Ela pode ser um dos caídos também, né? Junto com o viajante. Porra, não existe mais ninguém que nem a Paimon.
Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la leche fossilor or blubber profiteroles in no time, if I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace. Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoot!
Chispa.
Sorry! We're sorry! Please don't be mad! Yeah, exactly! What the drummer said!
Onde não faz. Eles deram tipo que queria esse mecânica de pesca no jogo. Só eu uso que é, que a mecânica de pesca só jogando 2.0. É, pode ter levado, tipo, alguns meses pra ter chegado, mas chegou.
Hang on a sec, you weren't exactly holding back either.
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision
É,
gem.
às vezes te pesca. Pois é.
Don't worry, it's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with
Pra
the
você ver como a gente era brabo desde sempre, né?
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then... Fine, so tell me, what specifically makes this matter so... specific? I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense.
Calma. E olha no que deu.
After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well versed in all the various
Informáticas,
performing arts.
ou menos.
A mere music, but given the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully
Ô, louco.
decline your casting request.
How come? It sounds like this would be a great
True, but I have made a decision to retire from the stage. Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent inhabiting that character has left an indelible mark on me. Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely. I'm not the same person I once was. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
I can understand, but this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Whether it's a one-off or not, it's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross. If I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself. Which would be the same as not having a boundary in the first place. So I'm not going to perform. And that...
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Otherwise, do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
No.
Short and to the point.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with probably, since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face
Oh,
if I go
fale.
asking them for help. True, but I mean, could you even blame them? I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for. Ooh, no way. I'm dying from it.
Well, is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the guy we're working for.
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do... Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really. But if I thought I had the answer to
Que
this
deixa tu
problem,
percorrente
I
já
would
é
have said so by
considerado pra
now.
ela. Não, isso daí eu tô ligado. Pensando. Fale.
It's alright, Furina.
Eu
I'm
tenho
just
esse item.
you've tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed. Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now.
Toodaloo to you, too. I'm...
Nossa, que...
Too bad, but we have to respect Furina's decision. Maybe the thought of performing brings up too many painful memories now.
Será que... Não sei. É uma boa pergunta isso. Esse item é gerador eólico. Deixa eu ver. Calma aí. Sobe no poste. Sobe no poste. Não!
Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement when
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We
Furina.
know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness, even when it's clearly flaring up.
Plausível? Olha. Deixa eu pensar aqui. É, talvez. Mas o que que o Zungili e a Nahida pegam os itens com a habilidade elemental? O que que o Zungili e a Raiden fazem? O Zungili, ele... Não sei. Acho que... Não é, acho que é plausível.
to make a decision on my...
Shortly after you left, the troop's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else?
Sorry. I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did you...
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't happy.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the...
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then.
Nossa, deu pra fazer pipoca. Esse aqui já vai lá.
Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina...
Only joking, calm down. So, despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way...
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very... This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, so... Are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to make sure it goes ahead.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day. I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. So the last thing I want is to be left out. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on. Sure.
Que é Furina? Oxe, que é Furina daí?
How did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list. Alright. No need to track me. Hello, one and all.
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned. That's all. When you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded thing. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you? I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me.
Ah, cara de triste.
But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, How could we be worthy of having Lady Furina star in our show?
There's no need to think like that. And no need to keep addressing me as lady. Just Furina is fine. I was wondering, if this troupe is so... If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep...
We all want to believe that, but everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart...
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in the serial disappearances case.
Que merda. Acho que eu lembro desse nome.
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still, no sentence can bring our director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Lady... Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life, and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage. People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to strength. Things were really looking up for us.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray. None of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing the best we can, but despite our efforts, it's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end.
Oh.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings who achieved so much and no doubt had... I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your final gift for her?
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale...
Furina?
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, there are no law. I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced, but only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh, most definitely. We'll take...
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though.
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about something I've begun to realize since my departure from the opera epiclese, is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them? An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotions shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, for example, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before. And so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh? You just want to get back in on the action, don't you?
No. This is a completely different situation. Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Thank you all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances. All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space.
doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Lady... Miss Furina will be supporting our production of The Little Ocean in the role of artistic... These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no... You bet! That was the trial of the century!
You helped bring our director's murderer to justice. We can't thank you enough.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the...
So you were saying the little...
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front, trying to realize this dream. The protagonist of the story is a young Ocean who transforms herself into human form. Despite the protests of her family, she longed to live just like any other human. And sure enough, she found friendship. But one day, her true identity was exposed.
So far, so good. A classic.
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was we need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But people have different opinions on...
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden...
Yeah. Like they say, truth is stranger than... But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw pain onto the audience.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. We have to consider their... And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from two of our main actors. The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's passed. The other is Vilmont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard. He did write to us, promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since.
Although, now that we have...
What opportunity?
Maybe you're on a...
Our director was constantly singing your praises. All of us...
Stop! You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way. I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues you've been facing. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Makes sense. Okay, he went back to Poisson a few days ago. Said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago. But I guess it's...
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Furina não gostou de ouvir isso.
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are... So, allons-y. To Poisson!
Nossa, acabou a primeira parte da missão.
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
Alright. Forget that for now. Just...
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this...
Okay then.
So, as expected, he's
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read.
Someone told me they'd just seen me in Croissant. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Furina, too.
I was wondering if we might run into her.
So, you're here for Paolo? Looks like he could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll around town in the meantime. I've made all the arrangements.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll.
Get over here, you!
How oblivious are you?
How are things in Croissant now?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the
I'm sorry to hear that.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud every... And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from the painful, which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe to avoid upsetting the peace. I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all. Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with. So maybe she's right. I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know if I was ready to... It's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But...
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Croissant.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of course, I completely understand and accept. Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Croissant dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people. Especially when they had... I guess I wasn't quite ready for this.
I'm not surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
I can't let myself see only the things I want to see.
There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
Oh, multidão. 6 pessoas ali.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rosula's ship? We should... probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear. I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the... As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the one after another. People were taken by the water. All those treasures they thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came.
You shouldn't look at it like that. You're only doing...
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing, and unfortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, but on some level, freedom also...
I would have never imagined...
A reward? I guess so. And back then, I didn't even dare to dream. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was. And believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is... I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good.
So that's where you were coming from. I totally thought you...
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same. I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to at least the choice. All right, it's about time to head back.
Sure! Okay, let's...
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities.
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good-looking. That's your job.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no, looks like... We're back! Could you maybe put me different...
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di... Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Ocean and turns into...
Me?
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he... outgrew that. Well, the
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid.
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines, too. Like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the... If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you...
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
Pois é.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about her. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troop, allowing us to devote ourselves. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job...
You mentioned earlier that the troop was like...
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage my illness with various medicines. It was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in. She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find more for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up.
She sounds like a rude.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer. My parents weren't around when I was little, so the other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away.
Let me guess. Fortunately.
Yeah, for the first time in my life, I was somewhere
The day you hoped would never come. How times change.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god. How did you manage to wrangle?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved.
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how this... I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then, disaster strikes. The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid. Plants and flowers are withering. The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it and investigate the truth of the matter together. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land, as if driven by a
Consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed her secret. The little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover and the rest of humanity.
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who had stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love, one that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
There's actually something else that bothers me. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world. If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible. What about if the little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues down the path to extinction?
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me. And perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death, both arbitrary and meaningless. On the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city. We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. By the time we returned to we looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Increasingly, all the signs seemed to point to her being the latest victim in the serial disappearances case.
The director was the kindest soul in the world. Yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a so-called experiment by someone who had nothing to do with her.
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen?
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing. Villemont,
Villemont? The one who's playing the role of the villain?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest of all.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone took it harder than me. Because, well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with Ulrich.
What?
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she'd never considered us as potential romantic partners. Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. So I told her I'd always be there for the troupe, and I'd always be there for her. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come. Hollow. So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by O'Reilly. I won't let anyone get in the way.
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Vilmont. We've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final...
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's...
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes. Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going...
I certainly do. Come on, everyone.
Nossa, já vai acabar.
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
As if this journey wasn't tough enough.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. Wait.
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think I can...
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnitium. Miss Furina said so herself.
Precisely. And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway. As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put.
That sounded so smug. Second-hand embarrassment is unbearable.
Foda-se, eu respondi em francês.
C'est la vie indeed. Alas, I am forced to watch on helplessly as a more brave and seasoned adventurer than I...
Aww, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes and fight.
Sorry to leave all the heavy...
Don't worry, piece of cake.
Só pra ter uma desculpa pra testar a boneca.
By royal decree. Oh, goodness.
As you wish, Fräulein.
Come.
You certainly live up to your reputation. Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina doing here?
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now have everyone except you.
Nossa.
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone? I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceania a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show. If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit when we're on stage.
Vilma, avoiding the truth will not help anyone. Unless you mean to suggest that Aurelia's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Vilma. I used to think that my love for Aurelia was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the show. The Little Oceania cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurelia on an emotional level.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire. So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, he just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I realized the drink in question was synth.
Cincha o quê, meu Deus?
The drink peddled by the culprit behind
Ah,
the serial
tá.
disappearances case?
Lembrei o que é cincha. Uma pequena dose de água primordial.
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked, but she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration. The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay.
Then,
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe, and it wasn't my fault. But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything. Yeah, I got Aurelia killed. There, I said it.
Hey, don't say that.
you traitor! You knew Aurelia was in danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean? You were afraid. This was a life and death situation. We could have saved her. How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to stay calm.
Stay calm? How can we stay calm? This guy got Aurelia murdered. She was the love of my life. And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show. How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troop. I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve. End my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Get out of my sight! Go! Get lost! I don't ever want to see your face again!
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you! Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
You're right.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I could tell how much she loved you all, and how much what she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already?
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. And then think again about what you, if you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director O'Reilly and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again. If she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle...
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed. She really was a truly outstanding person.
What you said, it really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but I ended up making it all about me and my self-pity.
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray. The end of the story needs to focus back on O'Reilly herself. She's the true star of the show.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims. If you could find anything that O'Reilly left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
You really think that's possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on O'Reilly's true feelings.
No.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now, and wait for our good news.
want to review some recovered items connected to the victims of the serial disappearance case. But that case has been closed for quite a while now. Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay, please hold on. I'll have someone dig them out.
So, this is all Aurelie left behind. Just whatever she was carrying on her person and this tattered old notebook.
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too! Looks like the show with a different prop should be placed on stage!
Let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped. Aha! I found something. Whoever discovers this diary. Let's see. Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentioned the truth behind experiments on dissolving young women. If we'd had a chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Lachey's guilt.
Lachey took so many lives. It's still so alarming people how many victims he had.
I guess Aurelie must have written all this down in the hope that our records would one day be of use to investigators. Wait, it cuts off. Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left. Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourself.
Levado com isso. Alguém foi levado com isso. São 6. Ou talvez 7. Alguém tentou escapar ontem, mas foi pego. Não foi visto desde então. Isso foi ontem? Talvez não. Perdi a noção do tempo há muito tempo. Sinto muito. Não sei se escrever isso vale de alguma coisa ou por quanto tempo poderei fazer isso. Já consigo ver meu destino se aproximando. Mas ainda mais amedrontador que isso, eu vi outros da trupe aqui. Será que eu realmente protegi eles? Sinto muito de verdade. Não posso escrever mais. Eu estou com uma febre. E os problemas no meu estômago voltaram, mas ninguém me deu remédio algum. Acho que tenho mais sorte que Cressy. A dor deixa ela acordada a noite toda. Suponho que eles achem que qualquer coisa vale enquanto as cobertas possam ser usadas antes de morrerem. Que lugar úmido deu meu cobertor para ela. Que frio, tão frio. Desde que se persista, tudo vai passar. Haverá uma recompensa para o trabalho duro. Eu gosto de contar isso para eles. Mas sou eu quem não está mais conseguindo persistir. Se alguém ver esse trupe, segura. Descobri no tempo todo. Criatura petrificada pela sua superfície diferente. É possível entender algumas palavras. Puxa essa página. Substitui palavras musicais com som. Forma de organização.
She was so terrified.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop, but at the end of the day, she was only human. I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must have been. Wait. This part on the last page sounds strangely familiar.
Escreveu numa letra muito mais livre do que outras, mas parece que isso consumiu muito esforço e o tempo para ela. não sobre isso.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this still what you want?
Isn't that the most important line in the little oceanic?
Because I am an older sister to them.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troop would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love. And she truly deserved it. Let's go. It's time for them to learn Director O'Reilly's final thoughts.
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience the courage and selflessness that she showed in the face of death, then it's a meaningful way to end the story.
Even in the last moments of her life, she was still leaving a trail for others to follow.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible, even if it meant sacrificing herself. We know what choice our little Oceanian would have made now. I don't think any more discussion is necessary. Well, Filmon, if we put the past aside for now, do you think you can bring yourself to go ahead with the show?
I will channel all my regret and put it into my performance to make the show worthy of our director. I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings. This final farewell show should be about Director O'Reilly and her Lolo.
Then it seems like we've reached a consensus. I have a feeling that this will turn out to be the most mesmerizing performance of your lives.
Really? How can you be so sure? We never even seen them perform before.
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching a countless number of musicals, I've learned one important thing. If you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse yourself in your role, pouring all your emotions into your performance. And aren't human emotions love, hate, regret, and hope just the most mesmerizing things in this world? I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage than they are now.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Miss Furina. And thank you for supporting us through all this.
Then, let's not delay things any longer. We need to discuss the details of the ending and get it nailed down once and for all.
Actually, before that, I'd like to make a proposal. During the curtain call, please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Huh? But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. I'm just filling in for her. Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
Well, if you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
Now we're talking like a serious acting troupe? Alright, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Procure a stage?
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
That place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean the opera epiclese.
Whoa, wait, what?
No, that's never gonna work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that O'Reilly's story is unworthy of the grandest stage of Fontaine.
No, that's not what I meant.
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
I have no problem with it then. How about the rest of you? I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It really is a dream come true.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too. Come on, we'll need to get the go-ahead from Villette. I know just where to find it.
O Novilete vai estar nessa missão. Mas por que a Novilete vai estar aqui? Nossa, lá embaixo.
I guessed right.
You were...
I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Furina. And you too, Traveler in Paimon.
I would like to book the opera eclipse.
I understand. The process of booking the opera epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, the story of the little Ocean is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to it. I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts.
What do you mean?
Yes. This is the first time that I've seen you like
At first, I just felt bad about protecting them. So I wanted to learn. In the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom. But
I'm truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life. Now that you've regained some confidence, have you had any thoughts?
Why would you suddenly ask a question like that?
Well, if the little Ocean turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add to their repertoire. The experiences and decisions of protagonist Cleo are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the leading role. It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever, nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories. This experience is a case in point. I feel I must admit, though, I am a little envious. They're quite fortunate to be able to bid.
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy. I sincerely hope the show will serve the grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed. You are very welcome.
Good news, everyone! Thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech, Monsieur Neuvillette was moved to provide us with a fitting stage for this special performance. We've had to fight every step of the way for this opportunity. But we now have all of the ingredients necessary to stage a truly spectacular performance. A touching story, a magnificent venue, and last but not least, a passionate and dedicated cast. Now, let's work together and make this show the best it can be.
This is truly wonderful.
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse. Fiamma and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things. I think it's really going to resonate with the audience now.
Wow, you two had a constructive conversation? That's great!
Communication is vital to any good performance.
Look at us. We've come so far.
It's amazing! Even though Furina's still being a bit of a drama queen and all, she's really fine every...
Please feel free to give us any comments or suggestions you have. We really value your input.
Hey, Loic, get over here.
Cursed Cleo. She
Oh,
stole
louco.
lots of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
Já pulou pra
This has
peça?
nothing to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is
Ah,
to
que
blame.
não sabe
How can we
final.
hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
Could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
Leave this place, oh little Oceanid, and never, ever look back!
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their roles. I haven't seen such a fine performance in a long time. If only...
What should we do? It's almost time for her to take the stage!
Why does it have to be now?
Hey, what's going on? You're due on stage any second now. Oh no, not again. But why? What about your meds? Did they stop working?
They've been getting less and less effective over time. I've had to keep increasing my dose.
What? I thought they cured it. So they were only managing your symptoms?
I figured whatever it took to get through this final performance.
How could you do this to yourself? And after that lecture you gave me about not looking after my health.
I'm sorry. I've let everyone down.
You... This is a conversation for another time. How can the show go on with...
Miss Furina?
Say no more. If you're sick, you need to rest. I know what you're going to ask. Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line. But I guess another guy in the troupe with a similar voice.
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. Out. From this line.
Thank you, Miss Furina. I'm so sorry to put you in this position after everything you said.
Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting in deep. No one likes regrets. Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times. I've learned Cleo's part
Ah, que fofo.
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one more question. After all, what in your opinion is the reason Cleo shines so brightly?
It's her pure heart. Despite all the pain and loneliness she had to endure, she never once stopped believing in the beauty in this world.
Well said. I leave Director O'Reilly in your hands.
Get here!
She's not coming!
You're wrong. She's here.
Si je pouvais vivre dans l'eau, le monde serait-il plus beau? Pas de nature, l'eau dans son courant fait danser.
reveal your secret to no one, you will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Is it just me? Who was that Furina on the stage just now? She hasn't been seen for a while now. And she just appears out of nowhere? Gotta say though, her acting skills are as superb as ever.
The little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurélie Fumont.
That's happening. What's going on? I don't know. Maybe it's just a doppelganger.
I've spent a lot of time at the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Hopefully not too many people recognize me. It's too bad that I had to break the one clear rule I managed to make for myself, even if I had no choice. Still, I have to admit that, despite everything, it felt good to be back on the stage again.
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss Furina.
Hey, that's not what we agreed on!
Oh! So it was Furina after all. She's back!
Honestly, what is he doing? He should have run that by me first.
All right, calm down, don't be mad. This was a group decision. We just didn't want your contributions to go unacknowledged. After all, it's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's work, visible or invisible, is equally deserving of recognition.
Yes, I know the rule, but it should still be applied on a case-by-case basis. I wasn't ready for this yet.
No big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, yeah? Well, since you think it's so easy, you can sign them for me.
This is a great chat novel, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? It nearly climbed my heart attack. I'm so over to where she was supposed to be, and with that drop vision, and then suddenly, a real one popped out of thin air!
That... I've got no idea what happened there either. But hey, it worked pretty well, didn't it? I'll bet the audience has never seen such a realistic prop.
Wait, what about Dolphy? I wonder how she's doing.
Let's go check on her as soon as we finish clearing the stage.
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely want to hear how the end of the show. If nothing else, we can safely say that
Que? Olha a visão.
back. She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication.
How did the performance go?
You'll be glad to know it was fantastic. Also, you're not gonna believe what happened while Furina was on the stage.
That's one. I'm so sorry I failed to see it through to the end. I guess
Don't worry about it. Like they told me after announcing my name, even though you couldn't see it through to the final scene, the audience was very impressed by your performance.
Well, one way or another, I've had bad luck ever since I was born. So I never expect things to go smoothly in life. I'm just happy to know that we
Blaming your bad luck again, are we? Maybe if you didn't...
Don't you start. I don't have the energy to argue.
Aw, you clearly care a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean we never stopped arguing?
So, any plans for the next? After the brilliant performance you put on, the reputation of your troupe is sure to spread through. You could capitalize on the rave reviews and license out the little Oceania to the bigger theater troops out there. That would do wonders for your financial situation.
No, we should still disband.
Yeah. It's what we all...
After all this happened, I should give you guys some space. Maybe our paths will cross again one day.
Nossa, vai terminar triste assim?
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Furina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand the directors and...
You should do it. It suits you. I'd originally hoped to keep performing too, but...
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. I guess I'll... What about you, Miss Furina?
Well, frankly, I think a return to obscurity is no longer an option for me. I'm sure a slew of consultancy requests. You rather steal my faith there with your special thanks.
Sorry.
It's quite all right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that maybe Nervylette was right. I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else, but I do have a desire to express myself. So maybe this, yeah. There was one time when, but from now on, I want to spend my time. I want to watch them blossom, wither, see them reflect. I'm sure this is what captivated.
Sounds like you're ready to stop running from me. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
If a vision is a gift from the gods, then I should do my best.
Tome. Até acho que eu vou matar o boss da nave mesmo. Minha resina. Só vou ver antes qual que é o talento dela. Parece ser o... É o da igualdade. Acho que o Rivalete usa a igualdade também. Segunda. É hoje. Espero que valha a pena. Nossa! 54.000! Nossa! É muita coisa isso. Falta pouco, Genshin também. Daqui uns dias eu pego a amizade 10 pesos tudo. Não tem muito que eu consigo mudar na minha Furina. Acho que eu vou terminar a live por aqui.